that energizes you guys? Because
Oh,
I
hell
feel
yeah.
like
Are you kidding me?
I'm trying to refresh. I have so many tabs open right now. Like I'm
How
struggling.
many tabs do you have open? 1,
Oh
2,
God,
3,
I have like
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
For some reason, I've like 5 weeks ago Reddit threads. Oh no!
I have 16 tabs open.
And that's the police talking to you about one of those 16 that you really should close.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Yeah, Alabaster, what?
Tell us, Alabaster.
First of all, welcome to Debatable. We have Pablo, we have Domonique, we have Gojo. But the breaking news! Von Miller being traded to the Rams.
That is a great sound.
I hate that sound.
So I'm looking up pass rush win rate, and it's hard to say I nailed it on the first time. Pablo, you give it a shot. And both Von Miller and Aaron Donald are above 20% pass rush win rate, which is incredible. But the real takeaway from this is, how do the Browns ever lose? Like 3 of the top 4 guys for pass rush win rate are Browns. You got Clowney, you got Garrett, you got McKinley. Like, I'm sorry. I know this isn't what we want to talk about. I know this is sidetrack, but please, somebody, Myles Garrett deserves better. Oh yeah, breaking news. The Broncos are done on the season.
No, wait. I'm just breaking news. Domonique Foxworth announces that the Browns are even worse than you think. That's why we have that siren.
I mean, I feel so bad for Myles Garrett. Please, someone. He deserves better. I tweeted that out.
You feel
this
bad
weekend.
for Myles Garrett.
Yes.
He's rich and jacked. His life is great.
Yeah, his deltoids, man.
Well,
Jeez.
I mean, you don't know how hard it is. I do. I know how difficult it is to be jacked and walk around life with people having expectations of you, and then not being able to meet those expectations because you're getting failed by the rest of your team. It sucks being me and Myles, twins.
See, and I had yeah. Well, I was going to say, I had the polar opposite of that, being a fat white guy in a college bar, because the low bar for you to clear on the dance floor makes life so great for me. Like, I display any modicum of rhythm, and I was a made man out there. And this is how we break down breaking news on this show.
I just like the idea that Domonique also has that jacket that Myles Garrett wore yesterday, where it's all of like the quarterbacks he's picked off on the back. And like Gojo also has that jacket, but it's just all of the candy he's eaten over the weekend.
Who's on your jacket?
Oh, me?
All the standardized tests? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the SAT 2 literature exam. 780.
Where's your numbers?
Didn't even study for that.
I thought it was going to be failed
casual.
I thought it was going to be failed Sixers draft picks.
How dare you? How dare you?
You know what I wrote on my SAT?
Couldn't even take the math too serious.
I did a game with the Al Bundy. It's like 5 touchdowns, 1 game. And then I balled up the test, threw it at the proctor, and walked out. Boy. This thing is scary. Like, the Rams defense is underachieved considering the amount of talent that they have so far, I would say. I thought they were going to be a dominant defense. They are not that, but they're getting pretty close. And if their offense can score a lot of points early on, you put your opposing offense in a pass-first situation, and then who you going to double? Like, and you're essentially choosing who your quarterback most likes, or who he most wants to get like very close and with, because one of those guys is going to get to him. That was a real mess, and I'm disappointed that neither of you cut me off to make fun of me.
Yeah, I'm trying to. We're real close to you, and we're watching you pick which one of us you're trying to bear hug into
you blew it.
God, Gojo, save me! Save me, Gojo! Save me! You also didn't save me. I'm trying to save Domonique. No one's saving me. Help the helper. Help the helper.
Listen. Wow, this spiraled quickly here. This is what happens when you hand us breaking news, huh? We just pee down our legs on this show. Good Lord.
Wait, I have a real observation to make, Gojo, and I'll send this your way. It feels like the Los Angeles Rams are like they're pretty much assuming that not only is their window right now in a way that we already knew, they're assuming that maybe the planet's gonna like blow up in a year or two. Like, they could not care less about the future. They are all do they have any draft picks left at this point?
No, that's my favorite part of this, is now they've had to move on to second round picks. Like, we're really dealing with some weird stuff where it's 2 second-day 2022 draft picks, according to Adam Schefter. They've got nothing left to give here. If they don't win it this year, I don't know what's going to happen to this team right now. Like, you have done everything in your power to make sure this year is the year. The amount of, as Alabaster put it before the show, cumulative bend on this defense is staggering here. I need protractors out. I want to see every 45-degree angle broken down here because the amount of cumulative bend around the edge of this defense makes me nervous as someone who used to have to block these guys. And the winner, like always, is still Leonard Floyd. Yes. He's never going to get double teamed ever in the history of the rest of his career as long as he stays with this team, man.
Cut him loose. Well, first of all, I hope Alabaster has his hand close to the "do not get us in trouble" sign because I got some great cumulative bend material that I want to roll out here real quick. Oh, you put me in the spotlight? No, right. I don't want to get everybody fired, but I was watching something Sunday. And a commercial came on about a drug.
At what time of day? What time of day was this? It was a 1 a.m. or?
No, it wasn't that late. I'm old, man. But then it was a drug that could address cumulative bend, which I didn't know was a problem. I didn't know that people were complaining about this. I mean, I never heard anyone say it was an issue. But anyway, football, we're talking about it.
You can usually get that at the gas station, I think.
It has like tiger icons on it.
You think that Sean McVay knows something about the future that we don't know? You think that he knows that we're not here, we're not long for this world. He's like, hey, we're all in right now because we better win a Super Bowl now because there will be no more Super Bowls. There'll be no more Earth. Correct. In a year or so.
I like the idea of Sean McVay walking into their team meeting this morning to announce his move, and he's like, guys, I don't know if you've seen the polar ice caps, like. This ain't about to go well for us right now.
Just do team building based on global warming. Like, hey guys, ozone later. I mean, they are in LA where it's like a pollution warning every other day, and it's just like, hey, we're in code red, guys. Let's make some trades.
No, Sean McVay has a photographic memory vault for football plays and also all of the wildfires in Los Angeles, and he's like, guys, I know how this is gonna go. We need to go all in right now. And so, yes, a second and third round pick in the 2022 draft. Is the Broncos' end of this equation even interesting to you guys? Because it feels like the Broncos, they're not dead yet, but now it seems like maybe they are waving the white flag. If you, I guess the only thing
about the Broncos' decision that is interesting to me is the Broncos seem like one of those destinations that would be attractive for potential quarterbacks moving next year. So Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, like guys that want to move. That situation looked good because they had a super talented defense and incredibly talented receiving core, good offensive line. Like it's an attractive place. So if moving Von Miller makes that place slightly less attractive, then that's interesting to me.
Well, I also think this is something that goes back to the offseason because we weren't sure Von Miller was going to be back here to start the year in Denver. Right. There had been a lot of talk about them moving on from him before the season started. And so this could be like, because I based this off a text message that I got from Jason Fitz. So if the information's wrong, it's his fault and not mine. That apparently the Broncos are going to be paying his salary through the end of this too. So for them, this is maybe this is a doing right by Von Miller thing. You've got an uncertain future because you're betting on the potential of, hey, maybe a quarterback chooses to come over, or maybe we just continue to be one of those teams that can't evaluate that position well enough for a guy in the twilight of his career who's trying to latch onto this Rams team that might beat the sun swallowing up the earth and get the Super Bowl before that happens.
I mean, they did it first, right? The Peyton Manning, they were the first team to be this landing spot for a marquee quarterback who was looking for a new location. So it's reasonable to suggest that they might be able to do it again. And Von Miller's probably not enough to shift that paradigm, but I do think the future of the Rams is interesting, the near future, and then also the distant future is like, what do they do, like a reverse clean house when they're done with this and just try to accumulate a bunch of draft picks by shipping out all these players when they're in the twilight of their career?
I know, I have it. No, I have it. Sean McVay is not only foreseeing like some sort of alien invasion that destroys the city of Los Angeles, he will himself act like an alien invader. He's just going to move from franchise to franchise, depleting all of the resources of their planet. And then just keep on doing that until he makes his way through the NFL universe.
Enormous parasite, Sean McVay. I like it. I mean, wow. Go ahead, Gojo.
No, go for it.
I was just thinking that why would the team owner be comfortable with doing this? But like from a business standpoint, they need people to care in LA. So like they would sell their souls for a Super Bowl because I'm guessing that in their mind, it's like cementing fans for decades in one of the most populated and richest parts of the country. So I guess it makes sense, but I would be nervous as hell. Like, why are we trading all this future and we're relying on Matt Stafford?
This is also like maybe like Stan Kroenke doing a, hey, don't mind the man behind the curtain right now, as every other NFL owner is apparently pissed off at him for everything that's going on with him not wanting to pay those legal fees from the relocation. Yeah. You've got that. You've got, to Domonique's point, things waning a little bit. Like the Chargers look a little less fun and exciting than they did to start the year. They just got beat for the Patriots, and apparently they're only paying like $1 a year to rent in that stadium in SoFi with you guys. So maybe this is how you just keep sticking it to them and making sure no one's Chargers fans in Los Angeles.
Can we just all agree, though? Can we all agree, Gojo, that like if the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, we're gonna do the thing like we are all like morally horrified by this, right? Like they've now set this up. They've asked for this, right? Like it's now the Rams are the field. Are we saying that now? Can we get to that point in the sports discourse where we're all gonna be mad if they lose?
It's not Rams of the field right now, like from a team production standpoint, which is the interesting part. But like to your point about mortgaging the future, I didn't realize it was this bad. So this is a list of all the 2022 draft picks given up by the Rams. The first rounder was gone for Stafford. The second and third are gone for Von Miller. The fourth was traded away in the Brandon Cooks deal to Houston. And the sixth was traded away for Sony Michel. Like, if you're a Rams fan, you get to take draft weekend off this year. Like, Sean McVay is going to be in that cool draft house they had set up last year, sipping Mai Tais, chilling.
I just got distracted because I wanted to look up what is the real estate per square foot in LA, and it's somewhere around $500 per square foot. And apparently they're getting a deal. They're getting a deal at SoFi. I get a nice little deal there because they're paying $1. Oh gosh, America.
Man, I can only vaguely make out what this says because I have 5,000 tabs open. I think my computer processing has been broken, but it just seems like they don't have. It's a lot of N/A.
Yeah. Alabaster, can you read that to us?
Point. I have to say I do appreciate it.
Between 2017 and 2023.
I do appreciate the idea of going all in. Like, I mean, that's what we're here for. I get upset with like NBA owners who won't go into the tax. Teams who are like the Bengals historically, like they only have scouts for their area around them, and they have like a cheap facility, and like I get annoyed with those teams who seem like they are in this business to be in the business when this feels like something that you should do for fun. And it seems like at least maybe there's a business justification for this, but like they're like, hey, we want to win. That's what we're here to do. We don't care about anything else. Let's go all in and win. It makes the game more interesting and more exciting. I kind of root for them a little bit.
Well, no, I mean, because tomorrow is a mystery, yesterday is history, and today is a gift. Gojo, you know, that's why they call it the present.
Oh, Jesus. I think we've exhausted this topic. I believe that is official sign that Alabaster, we need a new question because
I'm just reading the sign off of the thing that's hanging in Gojo's background. You have one of these, right? It's right next to your gourd collection.
I have a new Live, Laugh, Love sign coming from Target this afternoon.
Wine o'clock. Oh, God.
All right. You guys ready for some trending topics?
Give it to me.
What does it mean?
Nice pillow.
What does Derrick Henry's injury mean for the Titans?
Oh, this is sad. I mean, this is a sad story. Like, can we just start there before we get to the whole, like, cold football calculus of it? The human body is an imperfect meat sack. We were just praising Derrick Henry for being unlike anyone we've ever seen before, and here we are with a reminder that for all of the meritocracy we believe sports to be, it is cruel and random, and nothing gold can stay, as they said in the movie The Outsiders, and also the book by S.E. Hinton, which is a really good book. Derrick Henry, man, I'm sorry. I was just doing the statistical thing of wait a minute, what would it take for him to break the single season rushing record? And if you extrapolated his production into the future off of his last, I believe 40 games or so, he would do it by age 33. That was a thing I had just calculated a couple of days ago. And now here we are with basically doom as the forecast from here on out.
I just wanted to keep going. I mean, you went into literature analysis. I didn't know where else you would end up. Where are we going next?
Well, I want to just posit one thing before Domonique makes whatever point he has is I think based off of Pablo's imperfect meat sack,
he started
perfect meat sack would be a great cover band name. Hello, Toledo. We are Perfect Meat Sack. Thank you for coming out tonight. Make sure to tip the wait staff.
I feel like that's a classic bit, though. Like, when is it? I don't know the recipe for a band name or a cover band name, but anytime you have a weird combination of words, the move is to say this is a band name, right? That's what you do, or is there some science to it?
Listen,
I don't know. Is there?
No, I am nothing if not predictably and basically white, Domonique. Like, you just saw it. Like, he has live, laugh, love thing away. I have gourd pillows.
Those are beautiful. Did you make those?
I have a at me sign and a pumpkin that I bought for Halloween behind me. You think I'm some bastion of original thought or creative thinking? No, those are none of the things
I didn't mean it as a judgment. I just want you to explain to me like the science behind it, because I hear lots of people say that like that's a band name, but I don't know if there was like something else to it, because like I always smile and politely laugh. But like, I don't know what makes a band name, you know? Like, it's just a weird combination.
It's just got to be like one standard deviation point off of whatever combination. Like, once I heard imperfect meat sack, I was like, I just need to do like one different thing, and now it's a band name. So
also ideally, there's like a vague reference to like genitals in there, and so once you have that, you're checking all the boxes.
Oh my goodness, this is an allegory.
Wait, no one else
capitalism,
went there?
and I love it. It's fantastic. I was going. I mean, Gojo saying, I just take what he did and do one little tweak, and then I'm in the money. It just made me so happy.
That's it.
Tangent. Back to my guy, Derrick Henry. So I was looking up his numbers this morning. He leads the league in rushing yards against a loaded box. He also leads the league. You know what? Loaded box.
Band name. I'm
band name. It has the innuendo in there and everything.
Unloaded box.
And he also
just do a little tweak.
He also, it's funny you bring that up. He also leads the league in rushing yards against an unloaded box. Derrick Henry is the running back. Like, everyone else should change their name, the position name, to something else, or we should give him another position name, because he's not doing what anybody else is doing, and that's important. The loaded box thing is an important stat to me, because they have a 42% success rate against a loaded box. He has a 33% success rate against an unloaded box. So somehow Derrick Henry is better when you make things harder for you. I brought up success rate because it's not just big breakout runs, like consistently. Yeah. This man has successful runs when you put everybody in there to stop you. And that, I mean, is something that you can't replace, even though like he finished the game, didn't he? Now we're hearing about it afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's the scary part, is he finished the game. And I will say this for Titans fans who are going to worry about this, and the way they should, because you're right. He changes the calculus for you on the football field completely. When we have all these conversations about how a running back or how a running game affects play action, and this notion that, you know, a truly dominant.
I like that. Oh, we got Emmy. We got some.
Okay.
Snap.
We just. That's like when you flash up the player bio in a game on someone and they forget to put it in, and it just says first name, last name right there. Transitional sound effects. But
look at that.
Yeah, now that we've got me full screened right here. Yeah, the one thing that I always push back on in that notion that the running game, air quotes, doesn't matter in the play action is it's about having to respect the options that someone brings when they're on the field. That's why tight ends are so valuable, because when you've got a good one, they can do so many things that defenders have to account for. Derrick Henry is that dude in the backfield where no matter what formation they're in, or no matter how many people you've got, you have got to stop him first. He has demonstrated that ability far too often. And while it's going to change that some, that was not Derrick Henry's best game yesterday statistically by far, for the obvious reasons of injury here. And they were still able to come back and win that. Like, play action passing is also a huge part of this Titans offense. And as Ryan Tannehill shoulders more of this load, and as that receiver core continues to get healthier, like, that's just going to have to be the part that picks up the slack here. And I think they're capable of it in a way that kind of always reminds us that running the football is only so valuable in modern football, even with a guy this potent.
Yeah, well, the potency of him, right? I mean, it's worth noting. So Alabaster puts down a very good statistic. No one else is more important to their team in terms of yardage, scrimmage yards than this dude. No one else is bigger, but also faster. Remember, he had the top clock time in terms of miles per hour that anyone has had in a football game. He is also the guy who destroys loaded boxes, as you've said. It reminds me in a weird way, and again, this gets to like the gratitude we should all probably have for both of the double entendres I'm using and also the present tense, is because when we have a guy whose body does not make sense, like, we should really take time to just be grateful for that body, because you don't know when you're going to lose it. What happened?
Nothing.
Why?
Everything and nothing at the same time happened. I don't know. I feel like we've exhausted our Derrick Henry content because we're going to get the "Don't Get Us Fired" sign at some point.
I'm very worried about Pablo sexualizing Derrick Henry this much.
No, we're in the refractory period of this.
Before we move on, I actually have a football question. Do you guys blame Mike Vrabel for this?
Oh man, you're asking us to fire Mike Vrabel after we just said that?
Hold on, you know that you've gotten too close to the sun when he tries to steer us back to football. Because when we're like getting close but not too close, he puts up a cutesy sign. When we're actually getting too close to the sun, interjection. Mike Vrabel talk, guys. Let's do some Vrabel talk.
Hold on, I think you can make Vrabel inappropriate as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. The guy offered obviously to cut off his penis in order to make a Super Bowl, right? So look, Mike Vrabel brought us here. He brought us here to where we are in our conversation.
I like to think of Mike Vrabel now like the opening scene of the first Saw movie, ready to just cut his foot off for Derrick.
He certainly would. I mean, I don't think we need to ask him. If he could gift Derrick Henry a foot, the problem is I feel like he'd be a much worse running back with Derrick Henry or with Mike Vrabel's foot.
All right. Here's a great question. Who's the least athletic foot that Derrick Henry could still go out and be successful with and plant it onto his feet here?
Pablo's?
Yeah, I feel like it's my foot.
Yeah, I think it's Pablo's foot.
I'm gonna say you strap this Filipino size 10 in Adidas to Derrick Henry. He's probably not running as fast as anybody.
I just wonder what would happen, because like when he whips his foot back up to take the next step, like from the ankle down, it's just not ready yet. It's still slowly tilting back up and still in the kickback form. Like what happens? Then he falls.
Yeah, it doesn't know when to like pronate or anything like that. It's just flapping around back there like a field goal flag.
Strangely unmoisturized.
Yes.
It has a scar on the top of my foot from when I fell off my bike at age 9.
We have now entered November. Make sure you check your pronate. Everyone be safe. Men's health is important. What's next?
That's right.
Alabaster? Check all your pronates. Get your pronates checked.
Our next trending topic.
What? What's so funny?
It's an important part of men's health. I'm glad we're talking about it.
After stymying Justin Herbert and the Chargers, do you believe in this Patriots team?
Believe in is so general. I mean, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. So, like, I don't believe in that.
Yeah, no, let's work through the layers of belief, Domonique, because the very top one, which is they are now the best team in the league, we're immediately crossing off no one believes that.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't say no one believes it. I don't believe it. But... Go, Joe.
So I believe in their existence. Like, if you're asking now,
believe in God.
I can see them. They exist.
Like a Bigfoot kind of thing, or
no, because Bigfoot and God require faith. Like it requires me to take a leap for something I can't see, and I don't have faith that this team can win much beyond what we've seen right here. They're not going to win the division.
The Bigfoot lobby is furious with you right now, but please continue.
You know what? Listen, I'm sorry. I have tuned in to enough Bigfoot shows on TV. You guys got to give me more than you've given me. I can't watch another group of scraggy-haired white people walk out in the forest knocking bats together. Like, I have friends that have gone tree knocking to try and find Bigfoots right now. And I have yet to see anything beyond the same old grainy Bigfoot footage that we've been looking at since I was in 4th grade. We got to get upgraded material. If there's a Bigfoot or multiple Bigfoots out there, we need to see more of them right now. We got HD. You're giving me standard def Bigfoot right now. Yeah. You're trying to sell me Bigfoot on Blu-ray. I'm not having that.
Are we just going to zoom right past Gojo mentioning that he has friends who go looking for Bigfoot?
That caught my attention too. What kind
So here's the story. my buddy that went tree knocking for Bigfoots. It was him and his brother went up into Oregon into the woods.
What is tree knocking? I don't know.
So you go and you bang big pieces of wood together. It's supposed to be the thing that like tells, incites the Bigfoot to come out. It's like a Bigfoot mating call of sorts. And so one of my buddies, he swears by this, that he was out in the woods and they were out there tree knocking. And then all of a sudden, his brother was like, 40 feet away from him, claims that a boulder the size of a soccer ball got thrown at the tree right near him there. And he thinks it was the Bigfoot.
I would be insulted because if he's knocking woods, which is a mating call, then the Bigfoot looks over and it was like, you know what? Nah, let me throw a rock at it. Like, am I not cute enough for you? Come on, Feast.
Apparently he wasn't.
Oh, who goes tree knocking? I feel like there's a rock band name in there somewhere.
Correct. Yeah. White people. Yeah, fair.
Sorry, that group of guys goes tree knocking.
Yeah, what were we talking about, Gojo? You were going somewhere, and then we went.
We were talking about the Chargers.
I apologize. Oh yeah.
They Oh no, we were stymied. Yeah.
Oh no, believing in the Patriots. So Gojo, you were about to say that they're not God or Bigfoot, and then we sort of stopped. So where were you headed?
No, the Patriots have the ability this year to make football wildly boring. Like, that's their entire game plan, is just make the game boring enough and to drag the interesting team down with them. Yes. Like, they figured out that the right side of the Chargers offensive line is not as good as the side that's got the guy that should be Rookie of the Year, Rashawn Slater, on it. And so they just blitzed there and sent games there, and it made Justin Herbert uncomfortable enough to give him the ball a few times. Like, none of it's sexy with the Patriots right now. It's just designed to make everything a rock fight.
And the Chargers defense has a couple names on it that might make you think that they're pretty good, but they can't stop the run, and their entire secondary is injured. So if you have trouble stopping the run, you need to put more people in the box, which compromises your secondary. If you compromise your secondary, who's already compromised by the fact that everyone's injured, you're in trouble. So we say all this to say that we believe in the Patriots because we can see them. But we don't have faith in the Patriots. It is not a Notre Dame type thing. Speaking of our guy Gojo, who understands what faith is. It is, what is it, belief without sight? Something, I don't know, whatever they teach you up there. Slapping on signs, taking L's all the time. But that is what we don't have in them. Like, we think that we know they exist. They could back into the playoffs, but no one thinks they're going to do anything more than that.
But speaking of religious concepts made in the image of their creator, it does feel like the Patriots are more like Bill Belichick than ever, right? Like, this is kind of a team. I mean, look, we've isolated the variables, right? Like, Tom Brady, get out of here. We're going to get you a quarterback, a rookie who is kind of like it's kind of like that car where you have like the student driver, and then you have the actual driver, and he's like has the real wheel, and he can do that thing in the seat next to him. It feels like there's that dynamic with Mac Jones, and then you have a defense that truly, I mean, what Justin Herbert said after this game was that they showed him cover 2, which is a thing that they were not prepared for. It just feels like Bill Belichick in the last several weeks especially is in his bag in terms of just like, I'm going to throw defenses at you that you haven't seen before. This is the team that I've always wanted to coach. It's going to be messy. It's going to be gross. And Domonique has his hand raised for reasons that are already disturbing.
I just would like to point out, excuse me, this is something that I don't know if you're aware of, Gojo, but Pablo has a very suggestive brain. And if you say anything or put up any sign, at some point, it's going to come out of his mouth. So you notice that we had a sign that said Gojo is in his bag like 5 minutes ago. And I, at that moment, was like, I cannot wait for Pablo to say someone is in their bag. And he can't control it. Like, he really does not have the ability. I do this to him all the time. Before the show starts, I'll see a couple things, say a couple words. And it is, for a guy with such a strong intellect.
780 SAT2 literature.
I feel like what it is a mansion. It's a mansion with no locks on the door. It's just like, it is a beautiful, palatial mansion, bunch of floors, crystal china, chandeliers, everything. But they don't forget locks. There's no doors. Any thought, you can just
it's very open concept. It's very open concept.
And then that thought is going to fall out the window later.
No, it's like when they say,
no
it's like
walls.
when they say, no,
amazing.
Domonique, when I was looking to buy to buy the mortgage I have on this apartment, I would look at these apartments and they were like, open concept, bring your architect, which is code for like, you're going to have to do a lot of work on this, but you'll have fun.
Yeah, that's like the home version of That's like the home version of saying, you know what, you're gonna love this series. The first season, you gotta kind of get through, but after that, you're gonna love it.
That's the Pablo Torre friend experience also. Like the first season, it's rough, but you can get through that first season, man.
Oh my God,
he's a wonderful guy. I love him.
Lots of breadcrumbs that I've been planting.
Oh, one football thing that I wanted to say. I rewatched that whole game this morning, and I watched from the coach's copy. It wasn't even so. To say there was things that we've never seen before, and then cite cover 2. What?
Yeah.
I am not joking.
That's what he said.
I'm not joking when I say my 8-year-old son's flag football team has a cover 2. It's garbage, but they understand the concepts of cover 2. So like for him to not be able to understand what cover 2 is kind of outrageous. And then also I watched it. It wasn't that much cover 2. I mean, it's more cover 2 than the Patriots play. Normally, they're a heavy man team, but cover 2 isn't what beat them. That wasn't the problem. The fact that they kept turning the ball over was the problem. So I guess maybe he didn't know what else to say, but it wasn't like some outstanding. It was blitzing to the weaker side of the line and playing man coverage with a double team every now and then on his key receivers and Mike Williams being a little bit hobbled. Like these are the problems. It wasn't that they came out with this newfangled coverage. It's the second one. It's the second one we came up with, guys.
Football's
been around for more than 100 years.
Hear me out.
Cover 79 is going to be lit.
Can't believe you didn't go for cover 69. That's incredible.
Oh my God.
He's so disappointed. He's not going to
User
forgive
error.
himself.
User error. It's a layup that I just blew.
By the way, I saw that sign that said the Patriots are in 8th place currently. That just shows you how much the AFC sucks right now. Right?
The AFC, yes, it's a swamp. It's a gross swamp.
Oh, you changed your mind? You just wanted to say that? Is that what you wanted to say, Alabaster? Okay.
Did I take your interjection, Alabaster?
No, I was going to go back to actual football. My question is, Gojo, how many of the Bigfoot hunters do you know are Notre Dame offensive linemen? They have to be all of them.
So, I will say this. Well, you know what? Like, if you're gonna do like the Neanderthal chart of football,
not one cornerback looking for Bigfoot.
No. White middle linebacker.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's the next on the evolution chart for Cro-Magnon football players.
So a couple of things. I was going to talk about Adrian Phillips, being the guy who picked off Justin Herbert twice, all that stuff, pick 6, very good, fourth quarter, all of that. We just totally also zoomed past the fact that Gojo for like the last 5 minutes ago was just eating snacks again.
Oh, was he sneaking treats again?
I was wondering when you guys were going to notice.
Gojo
literally in his bag.
I have eaten all of this since we started the show. And you guys are just now noticing.
I'm sorry. I missed it. I caught it last time. For those of you who don't watch every week or every day, Gojo has a history of not being able to go 45 minutes without putting something in his face. And it came right after the first time this happened. I was just telling Gojo that, no, maybe he has the mentality of a big guy, but when people meet Gojo, they're not like, hey, that dude's fat. But then he follows it up with eating M&Ms because he can't go 45 minutes without having some M&Ms.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, my wife just brought me some food.
What do you got?
I don't know. Let's see. It's a whole bag of food. Anyway, you guys talk while I figure out what you got.
Alabaster, give us the next topic while Domonique reveals his lunch live on Debatable.
All right.
This is my lunch.
Trending topic.
Grits.
Ooh, grits.
Did the Saints prove yesterday that they'll be just fine without Jameis?
Oh, blueberry cinnamon pancakes. Oh, cinnamon pancakes, nice.
Ooh,
cinnamon chip pancakes.
Go off, Ashley. Okay.
Yeah, Ashley takes care of you, man.
What else we got? Oh, we got some eggs and sausage.
We got some Trevor Siemian in this styrofoam.
Oh yeah, do that.
Ooh, we got Mark Ingram back wearing
maybe
14.
Some Cam Newton in there.
Last but not least, we can get back to. Ooh, I got a sandwich. Oh yes, look like some sort of breakfast.
Why do you have a 5-course meal? Why?
Oh, yeah. Sausage and bacon.
How you eat this much and look like that?
It's
Domonique has Domonique has the spoiled rich kid Christmas of lunches. This is disturbing.
I think my wife just wants me to die of heart disease more quickly so she can then continue to give all the money that I have back to the white man where it came from.
Look, planet's gonna die soon.
Circle, yeah. She's got the Rams mentality.
That's right.
She's throwing mints at me now. Anyway, what's happening? Trevor Siemian. So Jameis is Jameis. Like, I guess his arm talent is going to be missed, but Jameis is not someone who, so far this season, has felt like the reason why they've had success. If you told me that Alvin Kamara was in trouble or hurt, I'd be a lot more concerned than I am about a Jameis Winston injury. Like, it sucks for Jameis, and maybe they changed the playbook, but I feel like they had Jameis managing the game. And the crazy thing about Jameis Winston is the most impressive thing that he's done so far this season is run the ball. And that's not who Jameis is. And I feel like in key situations, he's run the ball a lot more often and a lot more effectively. And I'm not sure that they're going to get that with Trevor Siemian. And I guess Taysom Hill will be healthy again soon. And then maybe he runs the ball a little too much.
So I would like to offer this comp as far as style of play for the Saints. Are the New Orleans Saints in 2021 just the Patriots who season their food? Like, it's the same basic construct of game plans, heavily reliant on offensive lines, running back, and defense. The Saints are just kind of a little better at every spot than everybody on the Patriots are. I feel like that's apt.
But yeah. Well, hold on. Speaking of spice and flavor, Dom. Yeah, go full screen on this. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Is that an egg? You have an egg on that burger?
Yeah, it's eggs, it's sausage. It's not a burger, it's a breakfast sandwich. Eggs, sausage, bacon.
Oh my God.
Some cheese.
Why is all the lettuce leaking out into your hand? There's none in the sandwich. It's all in your hand.
Just purely decorative lettuce.
Oh yeah,
not even gonna make it
just
in there.
Give some color.
Yep.
By the way, purely decorative lettuce.
Oh,
Big band name.
Can I be the front man?
See, you're so much better at this than us, Gojo. You're so much better at this than us.
Oh man, the Patriots with seasoning made my day.
So can we? So speaking of of the seasoning of
There it is. The Saints of the Salt and Pepper Patriots.
Can we see how the Salt and Pepper Patriots celebrated Jameis's injury and their win? Actually, do we have that video?
Oh. So clearly we don't have the rights to the actual music that they were dancing to.
Honestly, this kind of goes though.
I sure as hell hope it wasn't that. That does not go. That doesn't go anywhere. No, it doesn't.
Casio, this Casio keyboard wedding reception mix.
No, that was the real music. We swear.
Oh gosh,
yeah, that's right.
Get out of here.
Yep.
By the way, you notice all this starts when Mark Ingram comes back to the locker room. Like, we didn't see any of these fun videos, and then all of a sudden you get Ingram back in there, and it's going off. That guy is
very
good.
Big
trust. He's don't they call like clubhouse guys? Don't baseball teams, since the season's so long, they bring around guys that I don't know how good they are, but apparently they bring great energy for a 162-game season.
Yes.
Yeah, he is that, and he also will carry the rock every now and then.
Who is the ultimate? Do we have like an all vibes team of the NFL? Because Mark Ingram's first team all vibes by far. Like I can say,
we don't know football players' personalities like that. You know, like it's not like basketball players. I feel like I don't know. I can't come up with too many off the top of my head. I feel like Odell Beckham. We know his personality, but I don't know that people would consider him all good vibes team.
No, you're right.
Man,
you're right. It is
Football's
harder. Because in the NBA, it's basically like you go and find the guy who is dancing the most but plays the least. That's the good vibes guy. You know?
Yeah. Jared Dudley.
Oh, you know
awesome
what?
Vibes.
Oh, Jared Dudley.
I would posit. Is it who's the running back for the Lions that came over from Green Bay this year? Is it Jamal Williams?
No, I just want you to sink into this.
It's Jamal. It's Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams.
Yes,
all vibes guy.
Yes.
Anime guy. Great interview.
Yep.
All
vibes. Yeah. The one that was about, and they feed me good too. That guy.
Domonique says as his mouth is full of a breakfast sandwich.
All right.
Yeah.
What else we got?
All right.
Is it gross to listen to me chew? I'll stop. I feel like it's gross.
We've seen grosser on this show.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Mike White's just better than Zach Wilson?
Oh, no.
White Mike!
Everybody knows the White Mike, though. It's a real thing. I don't know if it's the same thing for you guys, but I don't know a black person who doesn't know a white Mike. I know a couple, and you call them white Mike.
I'm happy to be your guy's white Mike, by the way.
No, I was gonna say, Gojo, it would be my honor if I could take your hand and be, your friend, so you could be my white Mike.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Yeah, thanks, Dominique. There it is. Yep. Thank you for saving me with a dab.
Nope,
All right.
The whitest Mike thing that you can possibly do.
That's why I'm glad to have him in my life. So the real football answer to this feels like we actually can't say for sure one way or the other, and that's what's most sad for Zach Wilson. Like, I feel like what we've seen from White Mike in one game against a team that we had just all kind of agreed was maybe, at the very least, one of the best teams in the AFC in the Cincinnati Bengals, had just blown out the Ravens last week. Like, for him to do this against that team, it's not, obviously it is by definition a fluke so far. It is the best only thing we've seen him do. But it feels like there is a conversation that shouldn't be laughed out of the room in terms of how good White Mike might be.
And also how bad Josh has been. Like, hasn't been. Oh, I'm thinking of Josh. Who am I thinking of? Josh Wilson.
Just throwing out arbitrary white names.
Josh Wilson is a cornerback that I played with at Maryland. He played in the league for a little while.
Was he white?
No, he wasn't. I said he was a cornerback. Come on,
that's a good point.
Cornerback, not quarterback, a cornerback.
Oh.
I think Zach Wilson. Yeah, it's an indictment on Zach Wilson's performance so far that we could even consider this, but it's hard to completely dismiss this out of hand because it's not like they were playing a slouch, and it's not like he was being propped up by a loaded roster. Like, no. Like you were out there with a team that none of us thought was going to be any good against a team that was the number one in the AFC as of 12 o'clock on Sunday.
Correct.
So, it's hard to dismiss all this. If you rewatch it, he's not doing incredible things, but that tends to be the case for good young quarterbacks is early in their careers, with the exception of guys like Patrick Mahomes, and maybe we give it to Justin Herbert. Even the good young quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, even when they were good early in their careers, they weren't blowing us away. They weren't shocking us with their ability to read defenses and make tight window throws. They were just making good decisions consistently, and they're normally protected by a good roster. Mike White don't got that.
I will say he got helped out by a defense that punched Cincinnati in the mouth yesterday. To me, that was much more about Cincinnati being new to this whole success thing because they came out there and they got whooped up front for a little bit here. You look at this game, Mike White, Seth Walder pointed this out. Mike White completed 82% of his passes yesterday. The average air yards on those throws, 3.7 yards. Yeah. And this is also a Jets team that turned the ball over 3 times in the first half. This was the same old Jets performance here. The team on the other side just wasn't able to capitalize. You got down into the red zone once, you got no points out of it. I think you had 10 points off those first 3 turnovers overall here. Mike White did really good, and I'm not going to limit what White Mike could potentially do in the future here or step on his moment. I heard him talking after the game. I heard the crowd. They were chanting my name, and I was just hoping they would calm down so that we could go out here and execute the plays. He was living in the moment, and I don't want to step on that for him, but, the quarterback play wasn't that far above what we got from Zach.
It didn't come across on the TV copy for me or whatever, but the idea that they were chanting White Mike, it makes me so happy because even if they're chanting Mike White, eventually,
that's right,
it turns into White Mike. That is tremendous. How did I not experience this? Is this on the internet somewhere?
No, Dominique, if it's not on the internet, we snip off the first half second and the last half second, and absolutely we get exactly what you were saying. Great point.
He didn't even play all the snaps. I turned on the game when I'm flipping through channels trying to watch as many games as possible, and I noticed that there was someone playing quarterback who was decidedly not named Mike.
Well, listen, before we get too ahead of ourselves with the whole White Mike supremacy thing, I do feel like it's worth pointing this out. The Cincinnati Bengals really did not get, Gojo, you just said it. The Bengals, man, they went from laughingstock to overdog and really didn't get to enjoy very much of that whole trajectory, which normally you would get to do. But instead, no, they get punched in the face by a Jets team that is underdogging them, which means that the Bengals got none of the benefit. None of the benefit of the doubt from being this Cinderella story. They're already a favorite that choked. Congratulations, Cincinnati Bengals. I apologize.
His name was Josh.
By the way,
Johnson.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Josh Johnson was the one.
I had to look it up. Sad, but I
let
know
them
he wasn't
let them on a drive that ended in a field goal.
Maybe that's why I said Josh Wilson earlier. I was thinking of Josh Johnson. Yeah, it would have been a touchdown, but it bounced off his receiver's chest in the end zone. White Mike may not have ever come back in the game if he would have got a catch there. Nah, he probably would have. They would have brought him back.
Damn, everyone giving White Mike credit for Josh Johnson's drive here. Ain't that America?
Oh, man. Goddamn America. Oh, did I get us all fired? No. Oh, man. Let's all freeze.
Oh, man. Alabaster is scrambling.
Okay, on to our next topic.
Just sink into it. Oh, man. Sometimes Alabaster asks me to come on this show. I think it's going to stop. I don't think he's going to invite me back after this one. What's next?
Did the Cowboys and Cooper Rush prove that they're the best team in the NFC?
This is tough for you, Domonique. This is tough for you.
It's a Nina Simone song, except it's Mississippi, but not America. Anyway, yes, the Cowboys. I do love the Cowboys, and I love Dak Prescott. And you would think that maybe it would be tough for me to watch them win without Dak Prescott.
That's right.
But it was not an offensive onslaught. Like, there were tip balls bouncing around. They had 13 points by the time the game was, deep into the fourth quarter. Like, I don't think Dak is in trouble. It's not the same situation that we're coming off of. Cooper Rush did play well, but the story of this game, just like Mike said in the last game, the story of this game was the defense. Like, they had short field where Cooper Rush got sack, fumble. There's a turnover there midfield. Somehow they hold the Vikings to no points on that drive. The end of the game, they stopped the Vikings enough times to give Cooper Rush, I think it was 2 times, they stopped them to give Cooper Rush a chance to go down the field. And then the biggest play of the night offensively was a play that no one expected to work except for Ezekiel Elliott. Like, it's 3rd and 15-ish, and they're like, all right, let's check it down to Zeke. He breaks like 3 tackles and gets a first down, and then Cooper Rush hits the fade route in the corner. So, like, Cooper Rush played great, and he should be celebrated. But I'm not too worried about this. When Dak comes and they go back to scoring 40 points a game, we'll be all right.
I just want to highlight this tweet from Tim Roberts, who points this out. Because at the end of this game, we had redheaded backup Cooper Rush throwing a last-minute touchdown to Amari Cooper, shares his namesake, to beat the Minnesota Vikings. In 2020, we had redheaded backup Andy Dalton throw a last-minute touchdown to his namesake, Dalton Schultz, their tight end, to beat the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know what sort of weird magic primetime Kirk Cousins conjures out of everyone here, but redheads are going to be walking into work today, chest out, ready to go. What's up? Stunt, my redheaded brothers and sisters. You have earned this one.
Emphasis on the T there is impressive. They are not stunting. Stunt.
It does feel, by the way, that like Mike Zimmer was ready for that last drive by the Vikings to be as pathetic as it was.
Yeah,
he looked totally resigned. Like maybe it was just the way the NBC broadcast was cut together, but it felt like even before the clock ran out, Mike Zimmer was already walking across the field to shake hands and then just like rush off into the locker room. Like it was sad.
It was sad. Like, I mean, I was most sad for Kirk Cousins. And I know Kirk Cousins doesn't get much sympathy because he's like the highest paid football player ever because he played the system that tried to play him so well. But it sucks for him because he was coming off of several really good weeks where he's doing game-winning drives in overtime multiple times, and people are starting to whisper. But these are like 1 o'clock games that no one's really seeing, and we're just talking about it. People are like, oh, Kirk Cousins having himself a season, guys, having him a season. He gets a primetime game against the league's marquee franchise. Probably the most faces he's going to get. And he takes an L to Cooper Rush. He was given the opportunity, like, to have another fourth, or not overtime, but have a fourth quarter game-winning drive and show everybody you like that. And he didn't. He did his thing that he does sometimes. That is the reason why he made so much money, because he's not quite good enough to make a team commit to him. So it sucks for him.
Yeah. I mean, the whole Cowboys thing, what they did, I mean, just to get back to, I guess, the question, are they the best team in the NFC? Like, the argument is strong, right? Yeah. The argument is they can win games without their quarterback. And they have a defense that can hold a reasonably good offense, as Domonique just alluded to. They can hold them to whatever it was, 13 points. They have obviously a receiving core that is pretty unparalleled in the league. Right. I mean, Gojo, where are they for you in the hierarchy here? Because they're contenders. You look at the Packers, look at the Cardinals, look at the Bucs, although the Bucs obviously lost to Trevor Siemian. Where are the Cowboys to you?
I think they're the best team in the NFL.
Whoa.
When Dak Prescott's healthy, I think they're the best team in the NFC. But, I mean, they could very real. I mean, what we just talked about. The Patriots are in 8th place in the AFC. We thought the Bengals were the best team in that conference. So clearly we got things and issues to worry about over there. The NFC's been the consistent conference. And when Dak Prescott's out there, I would argue the Cowboys offense is the most special unit in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like that is the one unit I can count on week in and week out to go out and not embarrass me in front of company. And the defense has come along and done just enough.
They won 20-16 this weekend without their starting quarterback, which is incredibly impressive. But I think the reason why we're considering them the best team in the NFC is not so much what they did, but what the other NFC teams did this past week. So Arizona lost on Thursday night. And I guess that should make us consider the Packers in this conversation also, because they had their starting quarterback, but they didn't have any of their top receivers. And then the Buccaneers somehow lost to a backup quarterback this week, and the Saints have their number in all games except for playoff games, it would appear. And so now the Cowboys kind of feel like they have, even though they won, like it feels like they've backed into this number one in the NFC conversation. And as you guys mentioned, AFC is just a swamp. So I guess that makes you number one in the league.
It just occurred to me now. So we're all guilty of this. We just did a whole topic at the beginning of the show about how the Rams are the de facto favorite, and we didn't even mention them in this conversation. So I feel like what really happened here is that you asked us a question about the Cowboys being the best during a topic about the Cowboys, and we all forgot.
Yeah,
so apologies.
It was a long time ago.
We didn't say the Rams were the favorite, by the way. We just said they had the most skin in the game right now.
Right, but I just went down the teams that we should consider, and I did not. The Rams didn't even cross my mind. Like, they definitely should have gotten a mention, and I'm not sure why. They got better today. They got worse tomorrow because they don't have any draft picks, but they got better this morning. Yes. So yeah, the Rams, best team in football.
They got to get a white mic for us to talk about.
Be a lot more fun. Cooper Rush?
Oh my God.
I mean, Cooper Rush shocking people out there every
Red
week.
Cooper.
Gritty.
Red Cooper. Yep. Alabaster. What do we have?
All right, guys. It is time to play a game. And that game is If Then. It's basically Mad Libs. And our first one.
A wobbly sound.
A wobbly pitch.
If the Chiefs struggle against the Giants tonight, then blank.
If the Chiefs struggle against the Giants tonight, then the takes will flow. I mean, the takes have already been flowing. I've been flowing these takes in this little box here for a very long time. I feel like I've been ahead of this. Domonique shamed me a couple weeks ago about how dare I question the Kansas City Chiefs and their god, Patrick Mahomes, and his god, Patrick Mahomes. But it feels like, I love that we play games where you don't define the word, so struggle can mean anything. But yeah, if there's struggle, you know that in this box, I will be making all sorts of magician jokes.
But the problem is with your magician jokes and your general Chiefs analysis is it's not really Patrick's fault. So yeah, if the Chiefs struggle against the Giants, it's a team they should win, then I don't think much changes. I don't see the Chiefs as a Super Bowl contender this year based on what they've shown us. If they struggle against the Giants, then I think the takes increase. But I do also think that the Chiefs are still a team that people fear. And that's like, you watch the games when people play against them, they bring out all the tricks. There's a lot more fourth down going for it, a lot more going for two. There's a lot more interesting coverages that we haven't seen before. So the Chiefs are still a respected team. If they can manage to stop somebody or slow them down every now and then, I still think they're a formidable team. But I have no reason to believe that they're going to learn how to do that anytime soon. So maybe next year for the Chiefs, maybe they get a wild card round win or something. But I don't got them winning 3 rounds in a row and then obviously winning the 4th one in the Super Bowl. So it's a busted season for them because they're Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, if the Chiefs struggle against the Giants tonight, it would be on brand for the 2021 season because they've been consistently underwhelming. But to Dominique's point, I wondered for a while if they were going to struggle to make the playoffs. And now we look around at the rest of their division, and we just talked about that Chargers team that's come back down to earth. We just talked about the Broncos selling off Von Miller's parts. in this season, fully punting on that. We don't know what the John Gruden-less Vegas Raiders are going to continue to be. So you start to look around in this division and go, all right, who's really got a vested interest in winning right now over in that thing? And the Chiefs might end up being a serviceable answer for that just by strength of turnover luck going a little bit better their way down the stretch of the season. But that's really about it.
I don't know what the term is for when you can't give up on the idea that the Chiefs somehow may pull out their magic trick, but that's what just happened. Like, they are 3-4 right now. We've just presumed in this question that they are struggling against the Giants, and yet still we're like, well, a hard out, a tough out in the postseason. We're still going there.
Because it's true. Because nothing's wrong with their offense. Like, they could do some more running the ball. I think I heard was it Trent Dilfer talking about this, and we think about making people cover the entire field, and we talk about that means throw the ball out wide. But if you don't also run the ball in the middle, then they don't have to cover all of the field. So, like, they could run the ball, they could go back to their screen game, they could do all these things, but if you look at their games, like, they're not having trouble scoring points. They're not having trouble moving the ball. Like, that's not the problem. And that's always been the strong suit. If what they were good at, suddenly they were bad at, then I'd be concerned. But what they were good at, they're still good at. They just happen to have a few more turnovers, a few more fumbles, tip ball interceptions, and their defense is really, really bad. So, like, maybe there's a situation where they get lucky on defense. They get some of these turnovers bounce in their direction, and then you can't make a mistake against them. I think that's part of it, too. It's like you feel like at any moment they could score, not at any moment, every moment. With the exception of one game, they scored, I think, over 30 in all of their games. Like, they're not a bad team. They've just been kind of unlucky and bad on defense.
Yeah, I just like how we just glossed over a few more turnovers. Meanwhile, there's a card right there, Alabaster. Why'd you take away the card? I was going to use it to make my point. There it is. Right. 17 turnovers through 7 games.
So that means they won't have 16. Any more. That means they won't have any more for the rest of the season.
That's math.
Do you not understand math, Pablo?
That's math. Alabaster, what's next?
All right, our next topic. If the Braves blow a 3-1 lead against the Astros, then blank.
I mean, it's like
business as usual.
Yeah, like I can't even summon the jokes. Like, the jokes have already been written. It's the same joke.
Isn't it too early for this card? Am I not up on the MLB World Series?
So Game 6 is tomorrow.
Yeah, like
they're taking it back to Houston. It is not yet time for the choking.
A grand total of 1 game in a row. Like, what are we doing? I feel like that is unfair. Maybe it's just because they are the Braves, but, like, relax, guys.
You know what? You can worry about this when you check out the World Series. The road to the World Series goes through ESPN Radio. Catch all the postseason action coming up after Canty and Golic Jr., 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on your radio. But I digress. Yes, they have lost a combined 1 games in a row. That's a good question. Yeah, a lot of people are wondering that. But we got a podcast, too. Download, subscribe.
There you go. That's what we're talking about.
Thank God.
Yeah. But no, I mean, how can we, like, this is one of those spots where, like, I could say this. Domonique referenced me being a Notre Dame fan before and getting a lot of L's. Like, when we lose one of these big games as a Notre Dame fan, I'm not hurt by it. You can't kill me because I'm already dead. Multiply that by 1,000 times, and I have to manage that's the Atlanta sports experience. So, like, L. Duncan, who is on this program a bunch, who's on SportsCenter a bunch, comes and talks to us all the time. It's just like, listen, I've already lived this hell 1,000,000 times here. So what do Atlanta fans have to lose? Live in the moment. Relish in this. Go into every experience thinking you might actually win, even though you know the universe is going to tear your guts out and spill them all over the table for the world to see.
So does it make it feel so much better, though? I feel like the quality or the quantity of your euphoria is, like, sometimes multiplied by the, like, depth of your pain. Is that possible? I feel like if your expectation is that you win the World Series and then you win the World Series, it's like, oh, that was cool. But if you're like, we're Atlanta and it's never going to work for us, see, it's already started, and then you win it. So, like, you got to plumb those depths in order to reach those peaks. I feel like there is a quote somewhere in there that we can put in a frame and put on Gojo's wall.
I'm gonna scout it later on at Home Goods. I'm sure it's there. You know what? You brought up an interesting point, though, Domonique. Celebration-wise, what do we think Atlanta's capable of as a city if this does go well? Because, I think of cities starved for sports success that had it go well recently, and I think of the folks in Philly eating horse poop off the street. And so I just want to see where we think Atlanta falls into what could happen here.
Well, I mean, I also feel like there are a lot of people in Atlanta who don't believe the Braves are an Atlanta team anymore because they moved. I don't know how happy Atlanta people actually are for if the Hawks win. Now there's a different story.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like two wedding receptions in one, right? Where it's like two parties somehow converged, and it's like, I don't know if everybody showed up here together, but they're gonna try and make it work.
Yeah, I guess
and
if it's a reason to party, Atlanta's gonna do it.
It may get weird. I agree, but the Philly celebration, by the way, I'd forgotten about the horse poop.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
I don't think it can be beat.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's beating if you do that, but I don't got anybody in Atlanta eating poop. It's just not happening. I don't believe it's happening.
No, that doesn't seem like a poop eating city.
I don't know what they would do, but eating poop. It's not
Which
on the
city
docket.
seems like it's most likely to eat poop besides Philly?
I mean, I just think of
I'm so sorry.
Places. I just think of places where there are lots of horses and stuff.
Yeah.
Philadelphia?
Yeah. No.
And also New York.
Besides Philly.
Also New York, because there's just so many people. In Miami is the weird. Yeah, it's pretty much every city in
No,
America.
I would say the rankings go number 1 Philly, number 2 wherever Gojo's middle linebacker wood knocking friend comes from. It seems like you'd eat horse poop if you were trying to find Bigfoot.
Where is he from, Gojo?
Surprise, surprise, Los Angeles.
Oh.
Yeah, try and put him in a box. Bought early. He bought early on Bitcoin too. He's all things.
A renaissance man.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. A poop eating, tree knocking Bitcoin boy.
Wow. America. If not the greatest country in the world, then what would be?
I love
what
America,
is next,
guys. God bless it.
Clearly, yeah. Not what he said before.
Oh no, that was a period. It was, gosh darn, period. America. I do love it here, man.
We have a few bonus topics.
Number 1, America. Number 1.
Can we do one of those percentage questions? How much do you love America?
I'm still going 69%.
This bonus topic comes from Long Live the Queen, who said Von Miller traded by the Broncos for a 2nd and 3rd round pick. Domonique Foxworth traded by the Broncos for a conditional 7th round pick.
It's a fact.
Honestly, the value's not crazy far off.
I assume. Oh, nice. That's me.
Does this? By the way, this is increasing in value, guys.
I just don't want to
bid on this.
I don't understand. I mean, I know what Alabaster is doing when he does things like this. Is he thinks he's gonna embarrass me, but you can't embarrass me with facts. If you said something that was funny or something that's a true statement. That is what I was traded for, and I played enough that we got the higher condition than the lower condition.
Can I read the back of this of Dominique's NFL rookie card, which I bought on the internet, and you can just fact check it.
Why did you buy it on the internet? More important.
Because I'm your friend. Although he weighs only 178 pounds, already editorializing. Man, Upper Deck already throwing some amount of shade in the first claw. Although he weighs only 178 pounds, Foxworth can bench press 335 pounds and squat 515 pounds.
False.
Big swole.
It was 355 and 550, but I mean, it's cool.
Wow. Okay.
Get your numbers right.
All right, the Upper Deck fact-checking department, a challenge has been issued. The former Maryland standout started 40 straight contests and posted 8 career interceptions. The Broncos feel he can make an immediate contribution, period.
All facts. I did make an immediate contribution, and I did start a bunch of games in a row. Why was making me that I'm not sexy anymore?
Opening
you know what's weird?
$50?
No.
I paid $50 for that.
No, don't.
I will say, I'm surprised by the length of the shorts. Domonique, I feel like you really got robbed by the era of not being able to go out here in the solid short shorts everybody now.
I had great quads. You can see a little quad peeking through.
Quad peek.
That little teardrop.
But this day and age, I just wear the compression shorts. The ladies going crazy and the fellas. Everybody going crazy. Everybody with eyes. Well, with eye, you only need one to see that.
So much wood knocking.
All right, our next bonus topic. This
I'm
one
surprised
comes
you're
from
giving us more bonus topics. You don't just want to get rid of us at this point?
Absolutely.
Mikey
dangerous.
Likes Stuff on Twitter tweeted, Process P has morphed into perverted P.
Oh. Again, you can't upset people with facts.
Hey guys, by the way, shout out to Nissan USA at Nissan USA, #Heisman House Tour.
This
is me on my truck.
No, they gave you money. They gave you money. They didn't give me and Gojo money, so we will not allow you to push this out here. Until they give me some money. I like a good American car, like an F-150. God bless America. My favorite vehicle. Can't wait to
I just love that Pablo wanted to bring them up in a time where we were definitely going to talk about cumulative bend and perverted P again. Like, that's what you want them associated with.
Can we get a zoom in on Pablo, though? Because I want to make fun of his attire.
No,
I would
we don't have to
get a joke.
Roast Pablo.
Okay.
Oh, guys, I'm just hanging out with the football on my globalist.
I was just going to say, Pablo's ball security is suspect.
Oh, fumbles all over the place. Give me a little bit. Let me see them G's. Are those dads or not? They look.
I mean,
they might be.
Yes, they are. Let's get.
I can say
in there.
The ball security also sucks.
Let's go. Oh, that's a lot. Oh no, not there. No, yes, ball security suspect.
No, you have to.
What about the
shoes? ESPN Plus subscribers. Yeah, you got to pay for that.
Gojo's in his bag, or he's in someone else's bag. I don't know. But he's in a bag right now.
Lots of bags.
I'm in an imperfect meat sack.
Eating more M&Ms. I heard that M&M jar.
Finally.
You can't wait 9 seconds. You can't wait 9 seconds.
Nope. Happy end of Halloween. Let's all finish out the week on a strong note here. Finish out what's ever in your house. No one can judge you. Put up your Christmas decorations.
You can judge yourself.
Gojo went this hard on cornucopias for Thanksgiving. Christmas time, White Mike is going to be terrifying.
Santa lives there year-round, boys. Year-round.
No.
Oh, man. Teenagers in Halloween are the worst, by the way, just so you know. I was a terrible Halloween teenager, but all of them suck.
White Mike and White Nick, as it were.
Saint Nick. Santa Claus is black in my neighborhood.
Oh, that's fair.
Mine too.
It happens to be the case. My kids ask me about Santa.